Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 130 of Gains, and this one is titled Mum's Quirk. Okay, good. Don't lag on those squats. Come on now, warm-up's almost done, and then we're going to go in with weights, she said, clapping her hands to get you to pick up the pace. Oh, I forgot what training with Ori was like, you wailed internally. After doing a quick 45-minute workout with her, you then raced back home to shower and change, and then head off to see your mum. It had been ages since you saw her last. Well, it felt like ages, since so much had happened in that time that you'd been away from her, and you were excited to catch up on how she was doing. She had only been in the health retreat for 3 days now, but it seemed that she had improved dramatically in that short time frame. You remembered it by what had happened in your intern so far. You had done 1 day of patrol, and the next day was mission day, and then it was now the day after that you'd gotten back. So it was coming to the end of day 3, and you had already heard an improvement in her voice just on the phone. So what was she going to look like in person? You caught the bus to the retreat and got off at the stop and then headed down the road towards the place. You could feel the calm coming from the softly swaying trees that were all planted out the front of the place, and you sighed with a smile as you entered the premises. This place was beautiful. You smiled at a few of the residents there as you passed them in the gardens, walking your way up to the building's entrance. Once inside, you walked to your mum's room. "Mum?" you asked as you knocked on the door and turned the handle. "Who is that? Is that my beautiful baby?" she gushed, and your face lit up when you heard her voice. "Hi, Mum," you said brightly as you opened the door, and then your jaw nearly hit the floor. Your mum looked amazing. She had life in her eyes, she was smiling, and best of all, she was walking. "Mum," you said in awe as she walked slowly over to you. "Mum, you look amazing." "Oh, my honey bun, I feel so good," she said excitedly. "And guess what my news is?" "What is it?" you asked excitedly. "I have lost 4 kilos, she said ecstatically. "What? Already?" you said with surprise. "But you've only been here 3 days." "Oh yes, they explained it all to me. You see, I had been living off unhealthy food and it was just causing so much inflammation in my body that my body was retaining water and such, but I'm eating very well here, and let me tell you what I had for breakfast." "Yeah, tell me, Mum, what did you eat?" you asked as you hugged her again and then led her over to a small table and chairs for you both to sit down and chat. "So, I had scrambled eggs with roasted tomatoes and avocado on the side," she said. "Wow," you replied. "That sounds super yummy. Well done eating avocado." "Yes, I'm used to having avocado with lots and lots of sour cream in it, but on its own it's okay," she said with a chuckle. "And what's for lunch?" you asked. "Oh, we're having chicken burritos with sweet potato fries on the side," she said excitedly. "Mum, that's so good. I'm so happy," you said with a loved up smile. "And how have all the other therapies been here?" "Oh, very good," she said. "I quite like hydrotherapy. Exercising isn't all that bad." You chuckled, thinking back to the very first time that Kiri had introduced you to working out. "It's so daunting when you first start, but I can't believe you've already lost 4 kilos. That's really amazing," you said. "They're keeping an eye on me, but I do trust them. They definitely know what they're doing here," she said with a smile. "And your counselling sessions have been good?" you asked her. "Oh yes, very good. The therapist asked me to let her know when you got here today because she wants to schedule you in," she said. "Oh, yes please," you said. "Did you want to call her now? Let's get that sorted before I forget about it." "Yes, let's," she said, picking up the phone on the table there to make the call. Your mum spoke briefly with the therapist on the phone and then gave you a smile as she hung up. "Done," she said brightly. "She said she'd stop by my room in a half an hour to see you." "Oh, good," you said with a smile. "Is she nice?" "Oh, the nicest," your mum said. "She listens to what I have to say. How wonderful to actually have someone to listen to you." "I know, right? It's so good when you actually get support," you added, thinking of both your boys. "Oh, Mum, also, I have a question. What is your quirk? You've always said it was love, and I know that to be true, but what exactly does it do?" "Oh," she said, suddenly acting a little uneasy about the question. "Well, basically, it's an enhancement quirk. It's quite a specific one, but as the person develops their quirk, its power grows exponentially." "Ah," you said out loud. "So Ori was right," you thought internally. So how does it work?" you then asked. "Oh, honey," she said, fidgeting around in her seat. "It doesn't really matter, does it?" "Are you okay, Mum? Did you not want to tell me?" you asked, feeling like she wasn't really wanting to go into it. Well, she said sadly, looking down to her lap. It's not a very nice story, I'm afraid, and I don't want you to think of me differently. Mum, you said sadly, I love you. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're still my mum, and I will always love you. Oh, my love, maybe not after you hear this story, she said sadly. Please tell me, you asked. I feel like I need to know about this because I think this relates to me. She looked up at you with a surprised look on her face. How did you know? She asked with surprise. I didn't know. It's my trainer, Ori. She thought that maybe I'd been gifted an enhancement quirk, and she thought it might have come from you. Oh, well, she's very smart now, isn't she? Your mum said with surprise. Well, I think I need to explain the story then. Please, you begged. Well, my love, it started when I met your father. He became very interested in me when I told him about my quirk. I did not think much of it at the time, but I had told him that whoever I married would get it, believing that I would be deeply in love with the one I married. And when we got married, I thought it worked. He had praised me, telling me he felt stronger and felt his quirk was enhanced. I was very happy. We were in love. And then I had you. You were, and you still are, perfect. My heart had never been so full. You were my life. I wanted you to have the world, so one night I was sitting up late feeding you, and I felt compelled to place my hand on your forehead. In that instant I felt my quirk activate, and you started to glow a little. At first I was worried that I'd harmed you, and I cried out in fear. Your dad heard and came out to see what had happened. And what did happen? Tell us, MLB. I'll tell you tomorrow. See you then for 131 tomorrow.